So I finally checked out Doctor Stone Season 2. No, we're in Season 3 now. Hopefully you love this anime as much as I do. Let me just give you my quick thoughts and overall reaction to this. So if you see my top 10 anime of the year, you know I have a real soft spot for the Doctor Stone anime. You have Senku and really the rest of the world suddenly getting stoned one day, and then they wake up years, centuries later, and now it's up to this Elon Musk genius to science the crap out of this. Yeah, I think I made that Elon Musk comparison years back. That definitely aged like milk. But anyway, can Senku and his buddies actually restore humanity? First off, one of the things I really liked about this anime, this being a shonen anime, is really, it just feels very different from the Jujutsu Kaisen, the Chainsaw Man, the Naruto, Bleach, you know, those typical shonen, battle shonen anime. Not an Isekai, but this actually feels a lot like the Isekai anime where you got a character dying or just getting truck-hooned and then being teleported or reborn in this new world. You got people like Rudy, Kazuma, and even Kirito to an extent, essentially benefiting in some way in this Isekai world. I think a better anime comparison may actually be all these stories, especially recently, where you have the Demon Lord that died and then got resurrected into the future. Senku in this case being the Demon Lord, and now you're using that knowledge. So I mentioned having the soft spot for Dr. Stone, and of course, you know, it's due to my engineering background. I know a lot of people hated math, but in high school, I think I just really disliked writing. So my parents always pushed me towards the science and the math aspect. I don't know what you were doing during the summer, but I was taking science programs. I recall taking chemistry one summer, and another summer I actually went to UCLA and actually took this engineering program there. Watching season 2 and now Dr. Stone season 3 really reminded me back to that. I don't know how they chose this, but for the mechanical engineering part, they wanted us to build like this death battle bond. I'm sure you've seen the videos on YouTube, maybe one on TikTok now, the clips. I think we had about a month to build one of those. It was a horrible idea in hindsight, but my team ended up building one of those things that had like this spinning chopper. It just wasn't fast enough. This actually brought back a deep memory when a bunch of us snuck back into the high school to keep on working on this robotics project. Thankfully, we didn't get caught. For season 2, you have this new character being brought in. I could see some people not liking this character. One of the main criticisms probably being that this feels like almost an exact clone of Senku. Instead of the science version, you got the ocean marine version of him. It's like if Senku and Meiko Tsunami had a baby. And besides Senku, another character that I really like is the blonde. Kohaku, I think? I'm terrible with names. I know I'm gonna trigger some people, but I really do feel like this is a better version of the Mikasa character from AOT. And no, I'm not saying Mikasa should have 100% been this character, but I actually wish Mikasa would have developed a little bit more into what Kohaku is now. They've taken a strong female character, but also made her interesting. Especially in this season where she has to be all girly, but she's failing horrible at it. Or I don't know, maybe it's just my weakness for blondes. Something that I thought was going to be an issue was in the first episode of Dr. Stone season 3, you had a reference to Minecraft. Them going all CG into this. Which if you just know the anime studio situation, I'm like, okay, cutting costs / time. That actually got me worried. I'm like, I hope they don't do this for the entire season. Thankfully, in hindsight, it was just that episode. I did actually appreciate them doing other references like Sailor Moon. If you recall my thoughts on the first Dr. Stone season, I love the series, but one of my main issues was, I forget the guy's name, the guy that Senku was going up against. I really felt they shouldn't have made that guy so strong, or just that portrayal of him taking out a freaking lion. And I don't know, you could tell me if it's weird because I'm okay with this super overpowered science dude because it feels like bad writing. You had an easy fix right there. The guy could have either used this ranged weapon, which is way more believable, or this could have actually been a perfect opportunity to show plus strength. You know, being quick on his feet, coming up with a plan, which would have been nicely juxtaposed to freaking Senku, the science guy. Talking about this being Dr. Stone season 3, while I did love season 1 and season 2, I did feel like there was a major amount of hype lost in between seasons. I know this was just based on how the manga was made, but season 1 and season 2 really should have been connected. Strictly focusing on the story for this season, I actually was a little surprised that they're actually tackling the whole issue of being stoned. My initial suspicion was that they were either gonna leave that totally unknown, hey, it's just one of those things that happened, maybe with a quick hand-waved explanation at the end, or if they ever got to it, it wouldn't be till way later. This season said, hey, hold back, Jerry. We're tackling this now. There was one thing that very oddly struck me as oddly modern. And you can let me know if I'm overthinking this. You have Senko and friends reaching the island. You have this unknown figure that once a year goes down and collects these girls. Specifically girls that are 18 plus years old. They went ahead and specified that. I'm like, what? Keep in mind, this is on top of the fact that you're taking away these girls that are perhaps married, which if they're married by 18 means that people in this village are already getting married beforehand. I'm like, okay, very modern standard, this being in Shonen Jump. Okay, whatever, you could take it. For the actual plot this season, they're trying to discover the source of the actual sonification beam. I actually like this. You have the overarching role of restoring civilization, with the short-term goal now it seems like finding out the mystery. So in two senses, we are very slowly getting progression. And I know, the manga is over, which feels very crazy. I know I would have eventually found out, but the one that actually told me was when I was talking to that anime food YouTuber, which just feels insane to think about. When Dr. Stone Season 1 started, I actually read a little bit of the manga, and I think they were in chapter like 60, maybe up to 90. I think this is a split core. I believe it's coming back in fall of this year. Unless I get extremely busy, I want to jump into the manga. Overall rating for Dr. Stone Season 3, I give it a 7. I'll go with 8. I'm still loving the science aspect about this. There were some episodes that I was watching at the gym, they just had me in tears that I had to hold back. It still feels very inspiring. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the season, any issues, any things that stood out. Hit that like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later this week.